cars win my stamp of approval. They'll win yours too, but you need to be quick. Great cars like these just don't last long. Stop! Stop!
So come get your bumper sticker today and listen every afternoon at this time for our drawing. On weekdays, you can win a $20 Cocoa gift certificate, and on Fridays, a 19-inch color TV. Now for the drawing.
There's an immediate financial impact from the drought, but for us all...
A man can be as wise as Solomon and have an iron character and still be carried away by roulette. I'm Cyril Richard. Good night.
No, it's behind the pink, but the yellow is on that side cushion. And for those of you in black and white, it's just behind the blue.
Hello. Thousands of years ago, Confucius wrote, "There is no spectacle more agreeable than watching an old friend fall off a rooftop." Well, bearing that in mind, welcome to another Rooftop rendezvous. This time, a late-night version, specially designed for those fond of a few cock-ups before bedtime. Mind you, the late hour does give us some other advantages. For one thing, feel free to wear casual clothes while watching. And secondly, because there's unlikely to be any children looking in, we're able to be a little more unbuttoned than usual. So if your cheeks are easily set aflame, perhaps this might be an opportunity to get an early night. Now, as for what we've unearthed this time, well, once again, our research team has been as busy as Heseltine's hairdryer, and we've collected a whole batch of blunders, bungles, and botch-ups. In other words, all the things television does so much better than any other medium. As witness, for example, our first outcrop of Outtakes, a group whose most heart-rending aspect is that they all so nearly got it right.
Bristol Rovers and Bristol City are leading the way in this last-ditched attempt to clean up the language on the terraces. Whether it's going to work, that will have to be seen. But nevertheless, the directors at Bristol Rovers are absolutely adamant today to make sure that the crowds, the family, the supporters, and every f***ing person else in that
Again, I'm Cal Worthington of Worthington Ford. Now I want to show you some trucks here that are flat worth the money. Boy, you can't... Shucks, you ran over my toe.
Tomorrow is the last day of summer. Sharon? Karen.
Susan.
I give you this ring. I give you this ring. As a sign. As a sign. That I take you. That I take you. To be my lawful wedded husband. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring.
As a sign.
As a sign.
That I take you.
That I take you.
To be my lawful wedded wife.
Now, how did you meet your loved one, or even your husband or wife? Was it desperately romantic? Did you go weak at the knees? Did your roses wilt in their stems? Oh, bugger.
It's a foamy
aerosol. See what happens when I spray it? The foam bills and no dripping.
Is it getting too commercialized? Are people losing the spirit?
No, I think Christmas is a wonderful thing. I think they should have it every year.
I don't think these guys are any different than I am. One year I vote Republican, the next year I vote Democrat. I'm, what is it, not bisexual, but what is it?
No.
Tell me you love me. Say it.
No. No, I won't say it. Because it isn't true. Now, put that down. And, well, we...
How do you do that?
Outside that door now is a very famous, very distinguished actor.
Really?
Yes, and he's come along here especially to give me some valuable advice on acting. Do me a favour, it's probably in the Meals on Wheels, lady. Want to know if you want a starter? Well, we'll see, won't we? Right. Ooh.
Says that it's easier to be a sex object than being a human being. But Phil...
A Mr. Ron Kirsch there, now known locally as Harvey Wallbanger. But because his was only one of the many humiliations you can suffer when you're filming outdoors, let's look at some of the other environmental hazards you can run into out there in the dangerous open air, starting with a Californian reporter who found himself in circumstances where he had to take 2 tranquilizers just to get back to hysterical.
3, 2, 1. One final note. I don't believe this wind.
Oh, boy.
Cut 1. 3, 2, you asshole.
Hello. This week highway comes from Thorpe Nest. Where? Well, I had a job finding the place myself. But if you get a good map... Hold on a minute. If you get a very good map, and look at the county of Suffolk, you'll find it right on the east. Because if you go as far as you can in that direction, you get to Siberia, where the wind comes from.
We have a picture of Hawker in the classroom, and we do make continual reference to him. We regard him, of course, he is our founder, and we regard him as a benefactor. And every year, excuse me, we swallowed a fly.
I feel the need to bring this to the attention of the public and to the intention of the ministry in order to persuade NAREX to take their proposals and peddle them in a more positive fashion. Not necessarily elsewhere, but to re-examine the whole programme of radioactive waste.
Well, since you've been able to maintain services mainly by diverting through Carlisle, did you ever think about not spending £2 million on this work?
It's a shocking day altogether for the whole of the west of Scotland once again, but for East Kilbride in particular, which was a growth point, one of the jewels in the Scottish crown, if you like, for this further blow to hit East Kilbride is a pretty serious situation.
Throw down your arms. That'll be for you.
One of the fiercest critics of the District Council's failure to provide it...
California was started by the actions of man.
And it takes the combined effort of men and women on the fire line and the pilots in these air tankers to bring them under control and hold the loss to a minimum. Bob Banfield, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Yeah, well, I didn't know he was going to be that close.
West of Fort William is perhaps the most famous scenic route in the country, the Road to the Isles. Running shoulder to shoulder with it on the same spectacular journey between Fort William and Regrettable.
The price of strawberries, as well as the price of many other fruits and vegetables, is bound to be higher from now on. Bill Stout, CBS News, Salinas, California. Oh.
Can you tell me why you're so fascinated by model railways?
Well, it's my living, railways, and naturally enough, I'm fascinated in model railways.
The consumer price index rose to 143.1 during the month of March. That means that goods and services, sir.
The Communist Party controls, directs, and judges Soviet education. That is his great weakness, and it's a great strength and a challenge. I don't know what the hell these peasants are doing, but we can't have that.
So now the farmer must sit back and wait. And hopefully with sufficient rainfall and sunlight, we'll have another bumper crop across the wiregrass, and Dothan can once again live up to its name as being the peanut capital of the world.
Damn! Shit! One of those moments when silent profanity is not enough. Now, with our next group of human albatrosses, we examine the growing demand that everyone who appears in front of a TV camera should be fitted with a rear-view mirror, because it is extraordinary how often the place where things go wrong is what the Americans call in back of you. So during this next garland of goofs, please keep one eye on what's going on in the foreground of the picture, but try and keep the good eye on what's happening in the background.
Next time they hold a hill climb at Bully Bay, they'll be amazed to see a lavoir near Radio Corner that was never there at all. Well, it was, but it's been so overgrown for so long that nearly everybody...
And action.
A continuing saga, one might say.
Which way do I get out?
It's something that's occurred over the past year, more so because of the large volume of people that have been seeking assistance.
Which way do I get out? Excuse me. Which way do I get out? Thank you.
But over there are some animals. I wonder if you can guess what they are. If I told you that they lived in Northern Europe, that they gave very rich milk, made good meat, that their skins were good for making clothes and harness and blankets, that they could go a long, long way, although not very fast, I wonder if you'd guess. But if I said they pull sledges, and Father Christmas keeps a few, how about that? Yes? Reindeer. Those young ones over there are about 5 months old. Oh, they aren't, they're 9 months old. Muck that one, sorry. Can we cut? Oh, blimey.
Take two.
Looks just like Noah's Ark, doesn't it? There's a couple of llamas in there. One of them looks as though he needs to go to the dentist. And there's Johnny, the Shetland pony stallion, and some donkeys, and that huge Anglo-Nubian goat. Just compare him in size with the little tiny pygmy goats down here. But over there, if I told you there's some animals that... Not again!
We have an entire weekend spread out in front of us. We'd love to have some great weather for it. Russ Minshew is in the forecast office putting all that together for us for a forecast later on. And there he is right now, friends, and he's going to tell us exactly what to expect. Obviously is not ready for the backstage look here at 11 Alive. I hope you enjoyed that.
At the top of the list in Texas, San Antonio, with perhaps the best prospects of any major urban area in Texas.
Will you move away a little bit?
Sure. Sorry.
It's a plan. Putting your mind in shape to start learning. It's a principle. You can talk about the principle of mental discipline in order to get all those facts in order in your mind. But when you're in the classroom, it takes on a slightly different meaning, because before mental discipline can occur, there must be physical discipline. And some leading educators today say no matter what we do to try to improve American education, this is step one.
Step two, buy a blackboard eraser. Now, mind you, the written word is always at risk in television circles. The title of our last show, for instance, was It'll Be All Right on the Night 4. And for some reason, they wrote the 4 in Roman numerals. Consequently, it was referred to all round London Weekend as It'll Be All Right on the Night Ivy. Well, that's the trouble with London Weekend, no disc-pline. Well, for the next chapter in this survivor's manual, let's look at a few examples of how just one undignified moment can foul up various forms of ceremonial occasions. Now, the first of them, for instance, was a diplomatic function where a certain highly placed personage was called on to drink an official toast, only to discover they'd neglected to place any liquid in his glass. Now, as to which highly placed personage?
One of the world's most eligible England's Prince Charles.
The Queen. I don't know what happened to her glasses.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome onto the ice to present the trophies the wife of the director of our sponsors, Tuborg Lager, Mrs. Lona Jensen, accompanied by the referee for the competition, Mr. Courtney Jones, who will present the medals.
I give thee my troth.
I give thee my troth.
To introduce the 4 people who are going to make up our questions team this week. First of all, a lady who was an author, columnist, many call her the First Lady of Fleet Street, Jean Rook. Organizer of Reading Citizens Advice Bureau, perhaps best known as chairperson of the campaign for nuclear disarmament, Joan Ruddock. One-time carpenter, now member of Parliament for Walton, Liverpool, the former chairman of the Labour Party, Eric Heffer. Member of Parliament for Plymouth, Devonport, former Labour Foreign Secretary, today the leader of the SDP, the Right Honourable Dr. David Steele.
Humper 8's Dalmatian mascot, started duty with the department as a puppy. Firemen say he was eager to serve, always becoming upset when he was left behind on a run. He was injured in the line of duty several times, mainly the victim of motorists. In his later years, he was forced into retirement because of arthritis. The department gave Sparky a funeral today at the Wayside Waifs Pet Cemetery.
That was the Kansas City Fire Department gaining their certificate of advanced befuddlement. Well, we're now coming up to our last cluster of cock-ups before the commercial, and what's notable about this lot is that they all feature the kind of 1,000,000 to 1 against stroke of bad luck you could only encounter once in a lifetime, or on television about twice a week.
25 to 11,
Figgis, Glover and Binns are three names that turn Gupta and Dr. Thorpe's knees to jelly in Only When I Laugh, the cosmic influence tonight. And then at 11:15, the gentle touch.
We work the railroad. Paddy and Mick. Paddy's got a hell of a stutter. Mick's walking along the railroad line. Okay, son? And
Right,
Paddy's trying to warn Mick that the train's coming with a stutter. Trying to warn him, but you can appreciate he's got a bad stutter. He can't do it. He's going, my Mick, there's a fire, oh, fuck.
They're making it easy for us. You stay with the car and then follow me when I drive out. And nice and easy, right? I can't f***ing get out.
3, 2, 1. But the kind of service you get here comes with a smile.
Dave Levitt, you're a glazier. What's the solution to the problem of the glass we just saw broken before?
Well, toughened glass makes it safer.
How tough is toughened glass?
Well, if you like, I'll show. This is a piece of toughened glass. I'll show you with this hammer.
Go on.
That Zola Budd has been named by the English cross-country selectors for their team at the World Championship in Portugal next month, despite the tremendous disappointment of having been forced to run out in the English Championships today. So that brings us to the end of our programme. Now let's have a look at the copsucker that cupsocker.
Souvenir, probably.
Souvenired, indeed. The word is stolen.
And you'll see how warm it really is. In the 80s and 90s, over a good part of the country, it isn't that good news. And even in the 70s and 60s across elsewhere. And we're going to get you a picture of the national weather scene in just a moment. Here it comes. It looks as... Now, this is my first day. I suppose I'm lucky I'm still alive. But we made it through the broadcast, I think. The weather's going to be nice. And Dave, help.
This is a fast-paced business, and a reporter has to be able to work quickly, keep his or her cool, and get it right the first time. Do it one more time.
We'll get that story from Charles. Not quite ready yet. In the meantime, at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, the 6th annual meeting of the Midwestern Governors Conference opens today. High on the agenda will be such topics as racial violence in the cities and politics 1968. For a report, here is Don Oliver at the conference. We'll have that report a little later, too. This story, I'm sure I can handle myself.
Is this a plane that can run well on one engine?
It runs best on one engine. That's all it has.
The so-called Torch of Peace is moving slowly across the continent from San Francisco this morning in the hands of a relay of runners. It is a peace campaign of a new kind. That story from John Dancy in San Francisco. You're kidding. That story a little later on. I hope we find time for all of these things.
Are you coming down to the beer keller? I can't. I haven't finished with my latest score. Ah, forget it. The beer keller will do you more good. You haven't seen my latest score.
Are we going to try for some of these stories now? Over the weekend, as we told you, Lieutenant General Van Tu, who is one of the presidential candidates in South Vietnam, finally started some campaigning with the civilians. And here's that story now from Charles Murphy in South Vietnam. What page do you want, Larry? Do the what? Probably won't get the weather map.
One day, when Billy and the animals were sitting on top of the hill, Woodley said...
Welcome back. Well, here we are, the big one. Can Audrey Dirham, our local girl from Chard in Somerset, win the individual tarts championship against Sheila Crockett from Cadbury? Let's enjoy the whole match now with our commentator, Dave Lanning. I said what?
Across now to Canberra for our live network budget team in the national capital. Obviously, they're not quite ready for us.
Morning, world. Excuse me, we'll just have a look, see what the ever-expanding economy has to... Economy? Oh, bollocks.
Hey, Vern, boiling up some of them Louisiana lobsters again, eh? Are you crazy, man? Didn't you hear Pat Shingleton and Terry Burhan's weather forecast on TV, too? That Pat and Terry have got them a computer, Vernon. They are wired for weather. Didn't you hear them say it was going to rain any second? We are talking pinpoint, Vern. Next time, talk to your old buddy Ernest first, know what I
mean? You sold the lady in question the car which she used to abduct that bloody mystery man.
It was an honest transaction, Mr. Rycott. One of my...
If I was them, I would be thinking twice about jumping right back in that Volvo of theirs and making...
We need to talk. Is it something I've done?
Is what something you've done?
You've been like a bear with a sore head that's been going on for weeks now. What's the matter with you?
Nothing the matter with me.
Frank, I don't remember the words.
Well, can't you make them up?
Yeah, I could.
If you're not man enough to use birth control, you're not old enough to... are you?
Yeah. What do you mean the technicality? The technicality was they got more... Thank you, Rex. No. If I had have slept in, I wouldn't have now, and then we'll come back and fix everything. That fell on my paw.
It's almost good enough to be the plot of a soap opera. You know, one of the reasons people are drawn to nighttime soaps like Dallasty and Dinus is...
Well, sometimes you remind me of the tomatoes in tomato and onion sauce.
Sehr viel größer und hat wunderschöne
wir hatten ein Buch hier eben. Das Johnny Weissmullers Biografie steht drauf. Vielleicht finden wir noch einen guten.
It's a lady who appeared to have a Velcro hairpiece. Now, as we all know, modern life is full of surprises, not all of which respond to antibiotics. But for television folk, nothing ever comes as more of a surprise than some of the words they suddenly hear themselves uttering. Because one of the perils of ad-lib talking on camera is that often as not, your tongue will sort of slip its clutch, and you'll find yourself saying what you're thinking before you've had time to think what you're saying. Now, by way of illustrating that, here's a selection of remarks which, when you consider the circumstances in which they were made, could at the very least have been more tactfully phrased.
Tonight, another debate between the two candidates. This time, the debate was in front of the lesbian and gay community of Denver. Deborah Quintana is standing by live right now at the Tracks nightclub where the debate took place. Debbie, I understand it's over. Anybody come out on top?
What are you hoping to achieve, then?
I would hope that the Brighton Council will agree to set up a body to look into the costs of funerals in this town.
Keep going to 100 hours and 16 or 17, 15, 16 minutes.
Termination, especially during the night, but we had lots of entertainment, such as videos, and we had lots of singing.
You ran video films during...
We did, yeah. television in here. So,
And what, sing songs together during the night?
yes, all through the night we were going on singing, so...
So you now know every hymn in the English hymnal, do you, from start to finish?
That's right, we went from the first to the end.
We're sorry his voice wasn't quite as loud as his organ.
What did you do before you were a hooker?
I was with the Los Angeles Police Department as a traffic cop in the Hollywood division for 10 years.
Why did you give it up?
I wanted a more honest profession.
I had a shampoo. I used shampoo. And that one is a Herbalife shampoo.
What?
Herbalife shampoo.
Horrible Life shampoo.
And I used that.
Horrible Life shampoo. I think he's actually got a bottle of Horrible Life shampoo. And in here... Oh, Herbalife. I thought it said Herbal.
Did he say why he committed suicide?
No, he was dead.
The Dallas City Commission will meet Monday with an elevator firm to determine what to do about the old elevator at the Roosevelt County Jail. It seems after 45 years, it's dangerous to get it up in Portales.
Now, most water diviners use a stick, don't they? I mean, I know you've got a stick, a rod, but why don't you use that? Find this more effective?
You get a better feeling and more knowledge of there being water there.
It's a fairly strenuous way of divining.
It takes care of you.
He didn't call you that. Hey, he was kick him off the mount. He did not call you. He said it talking to the ground. He called me a asshole. He's on report form. I didn't think he called you I heard him say asshole. I did not say asshole. I did not hear him say asshole. He's on report. I did not hear him say that. All right, what's that? Look, he already ran me. What do you want? Well, you ain't gonna get nothing. He already ran my ass. I know it. What are you gonna do? I'll get my money's worth. No, go ahead. You didn't call him a asshole. What? You didn't call him a I know I didn't. You call him an asshole. Right. Okay, I know that. I know you didn't call him a asshole. He called you an asshole, right. He did not call you a asshole. No, he didn't. I'm standing right alongside of him now. If he said it, hey, I heard him say he called you an asshole. True. That's good enough. Okay, but don't say he. Well, he didn't say that. He did not say that. He called you an asshole. I'll agree with you, but he did not say you're an asshole.
Might be a small vocabulary, but the turnover is terrific. Now, it's a television truism that if anything does go amiss, trying to make excuses for it only tends to make matters worse. Something that can be confirmed in these next two clips. One of them gives us the speech of thanks President Reagan delivered on the White House lawn when the Austrian government gave him a magnificent Lipizzaner stallion named Amadeus. But the first one features some instantly regretted words uttered by an Anglia television racing commentator while his chairman's wife was presenting a trophy. In fact, if you listen carefully, you can almost hear his self-confidence vaporizing.
Now, anyway, here's a happy scene because Lady Townsend, who's wife of the chairman of Anglia Television, is about to present a beautiful cigarette box to the wife of the owner of Primo Domini. At least I think that's the wife of the owner of Primo Domini. She's probably pretty anyway. It is so she is. But Lady Townsend, who isn't, I don't think less than the winner, isn't. She's very pretty. I don't start saying your chairman's wife isn't. But she's presenting this beautiful, I call it a cigar box. I think you could certainly get cigars in there. So that's the presentation, and here's Scott.
John doing his, I would like to have my contract renewed with Anglia.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think all of you join me in thanking our friends from Austria in bringing this display, but that magnificent stallion is a gift to the people of the United States, and it is particularly fitting. This is the first time this has ever happened on the White House lawn.
Life imitating spitting image. That horse apparently is now involved in a rather interesting remake of Pinocchio. But enough of subtleties. Let's now coarsen the texture a little, because what this next selection from the scrapyard demonstrates is that television is a medium where not only is there nothing that can't go wrong, there is nothing that can't go wrong that doesn't go wrong.
This is Metropolitan Memo, and where the hell are the lights?
My HQ.
Political.
For a bloke like you, therapeutic. Drink?
Yeah, sure.
Chance to bash up the fuzz every so often and all in a good cause. I'm serious. We can always do with a bit of extra muscle.
I'll think about it.
For a $5 a year, I could join you up right now. Something else we could always do with money.
And lamps.
It's on the card. You've won. I'll just check.
Courage and power!
Are the ancient buildings of the imperialist past of the People's Republic. Are they proud of them?
他说呀，现在新中国政府啊，对于这个中国古代这个传统艺术啊，是不是也感觉到是一种这个认为这是民族的艺术啊，是一种骄傲呢？
对，这个中国古代的艺术呢，咱们到现在一直是重视保护，是吧？而且现在还加以发展。
Yes.
I do this Qantas trip so often, I always forget to do a bit of shopping beforehand. And I do get peckish, terrifically peckish on these flights. Where are you off to, darling? I'm afraid there's a queue at the toilets.
And kick your feet to a dog paddle to the splishy beat. Raise your hands up very high and start to do some
Well, that concludes our excerpts from Privates on Parade. And as it almost concludes the programme as well, I must express our customary thanks to all those luminaries who so sportingly allowed themselves to be shown moving from the limelight into the lemon light. It's also become customary for us to mention some of the film and television gaffes we didn't manage to lay hands on, which this time included an extraordinary scene from Dynasty where a young girl has a legitimate baby. There was the moment when one of the Dukes of Hazzard stood too near his fan belt and became a duchess. And there was the speech in a costume drama where someone said, "Go, varlet, and harness my horse." I'm still not sure what lessons can be learned from watching a parade of major talents making minor muck-ups, but what would probably sum it up is, if at first you don't succeed, why not earn money from the outtakes? And for our final assortment of those, we fell back on the well-proved principle that if it's really state-of-the-art cock-ups you want, well, the two subjects you still can't whack are dumb animals and small children.
Today's question of the day is, what's the most important thing a pervert can give their children, a parent can give their children?
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. The hooting of the barred owl is a sound that's commonly heard in one of the most mysterious and enchanting regions of the world. A water wilderness we call the land of quaking earth. Mr. Moak, I'm not sure you'd do too well in that land, particularly after you see the kind of animal that Jim Fowler has over there in the den. Now, you stay right there while I put the owl back. Okay. No fair grabbing now. Stay on my back.
You better be careful what you say. You've always talked too much, haven't you?
Sorry. Baby, it's just
What I'm going to do right now is get out of the van a minute, see if I can't take you closer to an African lion sitting right over here in the bushes. So let's all go over here together and see what we can see. 20 feet in front of me right now is the king of beasts. It's a beautiful water hole. Oh, don't step on a snake or something.
Come on, boys, let's go. Come on. Let's get here. Come on, BJ. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Central makes it easy for me with handy banks in over 30 locations.
Why do you have to always say that? Why do you have to always say that? Why do you? And why do you have to always say that?
You want to watch him there?
He's all right. He won't fall off.
Really, it's quite amazing the fuss men make over this St. Bruno thing. I mean, all they ever talk about are the cooler, smoother, slower burning virtues of that mild St. Bruno blend. Sometimes I think they're happy.
That was the music from it, Peter and the Wolf, at the beginning of the programme. Hello, there goes my notes. The programme that is something of a triple celebration, a quadruple celebration, because we're celebrating our 25th birthday.
If you're looking for a bed in the sales, you could spend good money and live to regret it. In a word, end up with a white elephant. Or you could. Failure?
Is anybody else wearing red? Oh, this is purple.
It's not.
Sure it is. Isn't this purple?
Red.
Isn't this purple? Friends at home, is this purple?
Au revoir. Au revoir. Au revoir.